Strike! Peanuts! Get your peanuts!
Nice move here. Hot dogs, get your hot dogs here.
Hear ye, we are reporting live from $2 in Eastlake for the Honest Abe Sports Report pop-up pregame show. We will cover all the hot topics surrounding the sports world. Please follow us across all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also find us on all listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and
iHeartRadio.
yeah, Aaron was ready for his cue this time. But as always, I'm the sexy Gretzky, George Gresko, alongside a few sports enthusiasts who are football throwing, baseball bat swinging, basketball dribbling, swinging for the fence. It's a home run. Mr. Dilbert himself, Aaron Adams. And from Talking Tribe with Tito Round Tripper, baseball whisperer.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be here on this Pennant Fever pop-up episode.
Pennant Fever is here. Mr. Dilbert, how the hell are you?
Pretty good. And hoping for a good night tonight, boys.
Oh, it better
Good
be a
night
good
tonight.
night. We need a good night because it's been not a good Cleveland sports weekend, okay? We need a good night. Tito, how's your bat swinging today?
Oh, good.
It's good.
Barreling up square, we think, today. So
And I forgot to introduce our friend behind us.
yes,
You give him the introduction.
we got Slider here for moral support here on location just to make sure we got ourselves a few appropriate playoff hype things going here.
I figure for a pop-up pregame, and then he needs a pop-up behind us. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well, let's start off with Game 1 of the ALCS. Little recap. The Cleveland Guardians traveled to the Bronx to take on the New York Yankees in Game 1 of the ALCS. In Game 1, our Guardians fell to the Yankees with a score of 5-2. How do you guys feel Game 1 went overall?
It was obviously a bit disappointing. We caught a break thought we were catching a break that Cole wasn't quite ready as far as rest days and stuff, and Rodon, has a pretty pedestrian playoff record. We were hoping we'd get to him more than we did, and then things obviously went south. It could have gone better. There's a couple silver linings, but we'll get to that in a minute. Alarming things, obviously, 4 wild pitches, not crisp stuff. When you're playing, a large market heavyweight team like the Yankees, you can't get outplayed on the fundamental stuff like wild pitches and base running and all those extras. We got to be more detail oriented than that. So it was disappointing in that aspect.
And I want to mention, I know Kyle texted me separately. He's like, you have to mention the 4 wild pitches from Cantillo yesterday is a record for a reliever coming into the game, 4 wild pitches.
Yep.
So I'm like, wow.
I know, because
that's kind of wild, right?
Yeah, we've seen some nervous, wild spats in the playoffs. The moment does get too big for some people. Yeah, so for that to be statistically the wildest little interlude ever, that's not ideal.
Now, before Cantillo got in, how do you guys think Cobb overall pitched? I mean, he went 2.5, I believe, or 2.
He went 2.2.
Okay.
I think it was 5 hits and 3 walks. So he labored. He gave up too many base runners. So he's off the roster now. Obviously, he was dealing with an injury. So
and they said his hand was bothering him, back injuries as well.
So he wasn't terribly effective for us this playoffs. It's too bad. He was effective in some small doses for us in the regular season, very small sample size. So we were hoping, because he had set the precedent of being out for months and months and then coming in and being effective, that was possible, that he could at least shake off the rust factor. But he just didn't have it.
And when his pitches are moving, that thing moves fast. What do they call it? Like a different kind of slider, I believe, where it comes inside rather than out. I forget what the pitch
There's
is called.
the sweeper.
Whatever it was, it's nasty. It is nasty.
Splinker, there's all sorts of fun modern-day pitches. I think the one you're talking about is the sweeper. That's like the inverted slider that, just does the opposite of that.
Another thing I wanted to say is, like, overall, we walked way too many batters in Game 2. Or Game 1, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many batters. Like, it was like every other batter was walked. So our pitching has got to. I mean, it better improve because now, like tonight, we pitch. Who pitches?
Bibby.
Yeah,
for us.
Bibby pitches tonight. So our pitching needs to be better, and I think our bullpen's well rested. So I think we should be okay pitching wise tonight.
Do you guys think that Bo Naylor, a couple of those pitches, should have used his chest to try to block some of those balls down rather than just using the mitt?
Yeah. Well, they said in total, like, basically everyone was like, it would have been hard for him to block all those pitches, but they all didn't have to get by him. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
so,
exactly.
It was
like
there's blame to go around, like shame on Cantillo for throwing that many wild stuff, and then shame on Naylor for not stopping a single one of them.
Exactly.
And you got to think, like, you're live in that moment. That ball's coming 100 miles an hour at you, dude. It's harder than you think.
Oh yeah.
Especially that ball hits the ground, like it's that quick. Like, man.
But in reality, the one thing I wanted, it could have been worse. I mean, we could have lost like a 10-2, 9-2. I mean, in reality, if you didn't give up those couple of runs, they didn't really get that many runs,
right?
Like because they hit the ball and did good, like hitting, in general.
And I agree with you because, in all honesty, we had Jose up tying run at home plate. So we had some opportunity. I think that was the 8th inning. Tie-in run at the plate with Ramirez. So we weren't completely out of the game. Like, we had opportunities there. We just didn't capitalize. And, again, we need Josh Naylor and
Bo Naylor?
No, Josh. We need him to hit.
Well, both brothers.
Bo's been not very good. But Josh has been
our 30 home run guys. I know Naylor did get a dinger, but he's been Ramirez has been pretty quiet this postseason, and Naylor's been very bad.
And they're 100-yard RBI guys.
Yeah.
100 scored 100 runs came in from both of them. 100-run guys, and they have not been playing well. And Josh has been swinging all over the place, man. All over the place.
Well, and it's funny because he's back in the cleanup hole tonight, which is interesting because he's been slumping, but it's based on lefties and righties. A lot goes into our lineup construction. So, he's cleanup and not fifth, even though he has been struggling lately.
Oh, we got a comment that says Naylor has good numbers against Cole, too, so we'll see, is what Kyle said.
Yeah, that's good because, man, I don't know, between us being a younger team and Cole was hurt a lot in recent history, so, yes, I doubt we have many people who have documented success against Cole, so I'm glad Naylor did. I meant to look up that when they post the lineup. And just while we're on Garrett Cole, before I get sidetracked, I was in the group text earlier, I'll Google Cole's playoff stats. Hopefully they weren't that sweet. Unfortunately, they are.
They're sweet.
That sweet, yeah.
Damn.
He's 11-6 with a 2.94 ERA in 19 appearances, 142 Ks in these 19 appearances, and the way playoffs work and the way they worded it.
Say that again. How many appearances?
19 playoff appearances, 142 Ks. He's 11 wins, 6 losses, 2.94 ERA.
You're not going to.
Oh, so he's had some good games. Really,
right.
That's a lot of Ks in 19 appearances.
Exactly, because what I was going to say is if they were all starts, because usually with how playoffs work, starters get pressed into relief duties. They're not all starts, or they would have said starts and instead appearances. So, factoring in that some of those were probably there's a relief appearance or two peppered in, and he still struck out 7 guys in appearance like clockwork. So he's a pretty bad dude playoff-wise. 11 wins this day and age when starters just regular or postseason don't get as many wins, that's pretty badass for the playoffs.
Right.
That's no spring chicken if you've accumulated double-digit playoff wins.
Even Kyle, just so everybody is listening, Kyle was one of our listeners or one of our reporters that does the show with us. He couldn't be here tonight, but he is commenting live. And he said, "Wow, that's a lot of strikeouts."
Right, yeah, because especially factoring in, I bet 2 of those are random relief appearances. So when not even all 19 of those appearances are starts, and you're still talking simple math, 7 strikeouts an appearance. If 1 or 2 of those was just a 1 or 2 inning thing, and you were still getting 7 strikeouts an appearance, so it's a problem.
I'm looking at the TV right now. The Yankees have 34 walks in their games that they've played. So
we've walked them, or
just overall
in the playoffs.
Overall in the playoffs, the Yankees have 34 walks total, coming in against the Kansas City Royals and us.
Yeah,
I mean that's a lot of walks.
Right, because that Royals series only went 4 games, so you're talking in 5 games.
And Kyle,
so they're really drawing some.
Kyle
walks.
actually said that as well. He said that's been the Royals' kryptonite. Way too many walks. So can't give guys free bases, what Kyle said. Now, one thing I do want to get into is how good, like watching last night's game, the Yankees lineup, like when they're hitting, there's really not that many holes in their lineup, man. There's some big names, and I'm sick of God. Who's their leadoff hitter? I'm over him.
Oh, Greg Torres.
Yes, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of their first 4 batters. I can't stand. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we after that disastrous third inning, we settled down pretty good. From the 4th inning on, all we gave up was a solo shot to Stanton, and that's fine. That's what Stanton does. You don't really hear from him, and then he hits his relatively harmless solo shot every couple games. But,
every ball that guy hits looks like it's a solo shot. Even his first at-bat, he hit the ball. I'm like, oh, that's gone, but then they caught it. It just, the way he swings that ball, swings that bat, it looks like everything is gone. He hits it so fucking hard.
Yeah, with Rizzo, you're right, though. To speak to the Yankees lineup depth, unfortunately, Rizzo back from injury and seemingly something like 100%. Like, that was kind of up in the air. And then, Torres, who we were saying was being annoying, and even Volpe, both their middle infielders have stepped up a bit.
Who's the one that stared down our pitcher after a walk? There was one of their best players, right field, I believe.
Oh, Soto?
Yeah, Soto got walked and he stared down the pitcher. I'm like, what? I'm sick of it.
Well, Soto's always doing some sort of like pageantry. He's lucky he's a really good player because he's always doing some crap like that. But
yeah, one of our Abraham drinkers.
He's just jerking our gherkin, I think, trying to get a rise out of us here.
He's getting one out of me.
Yeah, right.
But son of a bitch.
And speaking of rises, though, so this is in like more of the fan base kind of side of things. We talked a little bit about before we started the show, CC Sabathia, and I want to hit this real quick. Guardians fans aren't too happy about CC Sabathia throwing out the first pitch of Game 1 in New York. So what do you guys think about it? Because Cleveland drafted CC, developed him, right? Mm-hmm. Didn't win a World Series here. He was on probably one of the best pitching staffs in a long time. Like there was him and Cliff Lee on the same pitching staff. Cliff Lee won the Cy Young that year. But he did win a World Series with the Yankees. So, kind of, what do you guys think? Is it like a big deal that people are making? Is it little? Is it just?
I think he's bringing us good luck.
Yeah,
I think he's going to bring. I think it's good luck.
Let's
honestly.
hope it's some mojo there, some accidental mojo for us. Yeah, because it kind of sucks. I get why it's a big deal. Like all the Yankees greats to choose from, and it has to be a guy who came up with us. So,
do you think
it's either a hell of I was
is it on purpose? Is it a thing that just gets underneath your like skin and you're just that's annoying?
I believe that's a hell of a coincidence. Ergo on purpose. Yes, because that's just too.
I think so too.
But none of our guys played with him, though. No,
so but I'm just saying, as fans, it's just like an irritating. Like you're celebrating a guy that we drafted.
As fans, yeah.
He did like he was a great pitcher here. Like it's not like he was horrible here, and then we got rid of him. And it's not like he really even chased money to go to the Yankees because he didn't. It was just that it was a departure, So I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on that.
Yeah, we actually first traded him to the Brewers and got a decent haul for him, and then he signed with the Yankees because that's how we first got Michael Brantley.
And that's where I think I was getting out of, like, he didn't go somewhere for money. I think it was a trade.
Right, we traded him to the Brewers, and then he signed with the Yankees.
Interesting. Another thing I wanted to ask, and you mentioned it when we talked before the show, too, is if CC goes in the Hall of Fame, I thought he had to pick a hat. And you said possibly not. I thought he had to pick, like, does he go in as a Yankee? Does he go in as the Indians?
I know. I didn't look this up, but I think there was a player or two in recent past, because now that these decisions are becoming frequently more tough in this modern era of multiple teams and just the reality of the game, I don't even think they got to pick anymore. I would love for someone who knows for sure either way to comment in or not, but I think you can just get, like, a generic cap carved in.
All right, let's play this game. If you had to pick, where do you think CC would go into the Hall of Fame, as an Indian or the New York Yankees?
Man, if you're that guy, which most players are, where, like, hands down, your World Series championship was the greatest moment of your career, you can't be mad at him for going in as a Yankee because he won a title for the Yankees.
That's what you picked? Well, you can't play devil's advocate. I want an answer, Tito.
That's what I'd pick.
So
because I feel like I'm of the majority opinion. I feel like roughly 80-90% of players that won one World Series are going to, all things being kind of equal, go in with the team
Okay.
they won a World Series with.
So
I'll put myself in
he
his
is
shoes
right.
and say that.
These decisions used to be solely up to the player, but the Hall of Fame now works in conjunction with inductees to determine the club which he made the greatest impact on the game. But players whose careers spread across multiple clubs can enter without a cap logo, as in the case with the 2024 inductee
Okay.
Jim Leyland.
Oh, Leland. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense because
Leland.
Leland experienced success. You know, he was a lifer in the game, and he,
So
had a long career and had some success at a lot of stops.
So, Aaron, what would
he
if
would be
you-
a perfect example of someone who would be reluctant
I
to
fucking hated Leland.
embroider himself.
Motherfucker. Fuck that guy.
He won a World Series
Yeah.
with the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
probably the Yankees. I mean,
Oh, CC, you're saying with the Yankees. So
Yeah.
you would pick for him to go in with the Yankees. Man,
I
that's
mean,
so tough.
yeah.
because he was in Cleveland for so long, and it was towards the end of his career he was with the Yankees.
if he didn't get
And he
the,
was still-
if,
I mean, like,
if he
even
didn't get
towards the
that
end-
World Series win,
Towards the end of his career, he was still like lights out. So, Kyle at home said as a Yankee because he won the World Series there. So, interesting though. All right, let's get into Game 2 a little bit. Game 2, ALCS first pitch is in less than an hour away. First pitch is 7:38. So I'm going to turn those. I know you talked a lot already about Cole. Is there anything else like matchups, anything big going on, any good storylines, anything you have for us? Tito?
Yeah. Okay. Continuing the Cole thing. Generically speaking, the oversimplified scouting report for opposing teams with the Guardians, we've struggled with the changeup, and we've continued to struggle with the changeup. So in layman's terms, obviously major league game plans are way more complex, but in layman's terms, it's been keep on coming with the changeups to the Guardian. They've been struggling and staying struggling against them all year. So it shouldn't, as the numbers go this year, be that easy. For now, Garrett Cole's a hell of a pitcher. He's not quite the same since his operation and whatever his big injury he had, because he just came back on the scene in August this year. 333 batting average against with the changeup. So, with that being said, assuming that trend holds, it's not going to be as simple as just keep giving us an abundance of changeups, because, let's say the league average, and again, I'm just throwing round numbers out there just for the sake of this discussion. Let's say the league average of changeups in a game is usually 20%. The scouting report says throw the Guardians 30 to 35% changeups, not 20%. They struggle against the changeup. If you have even an average changeup, keep hitting them with changeups. So with Cole allowing a 333 batting average against the changeup, it's not going to be as simple as that security blanket of just like, oh, what do we do to these Guardians hitters? They don't hit the changeup well, throw them a changeup. So that could be good from a matchup standpoint. Also from a matchup standpoint, just logistically how things have worked out with matchups and flow of game script and managerial decisions. Kyle Manzardo and Will Brennan are both in the lineup tonight. Our offense absolutely has been very inconsistent and, more cold than hot this postseason.
But when they're hot, they're hot.
Right.
It's been crazy. But when they're cold, they are ice
But here's the thing.
Like Bud Light.
Don't blame this often cold, inconsistent postseason on Manzardo or Brennan, because here we are with 6 postseason games in the books. Manzardo, batting second tonight, has had 7 at-bats in 6 games. Brennan, batting 6th tonight, has had 6 at-bats in 6 games. So going back earlier to how, our 30 home run guys, Ramirez and Naylor, can't stay this cold for long. So those are my 2 major sources I'm looking for us to drum up some offense. Either inevitably Ramirez and Naylor doing what they do and getting back to being the 100 RBI power-hitting run producers they are, or just because of logistics, how we have a couple of spots that rotate due to righties and lefties in our lineup. Manzardo and Brennan, like I said, the blood is not on their hands from this cold postseason. Let's see them.
We have a question for you,
in
Tito.
Important spots.
We said, Tito, this from Kyle. Do you think we'll see Lively tonight?
I don't think we'll see Lively tonight. I think that, unfortunately, if we need an innings eater, it'll probably be Cantillo, since Avila went 2.2 innings. Right now, it looks like Gavin Williams and Lively are needed for Game 4 and Game 5. We know we have Matt Boyd Game 3. And then Game 4, we already knew we had to make a tough decision that would probably be Gavin Williams. And now with Cobb hurt, Game 5 probably has to be Lively. So I'm guessing we're
agree.
saving Lively because we're certainly not going to groom Cantillo to start that Game 5 after what happened to him.
We might not ever see him again this series.
Well,
He might get cut. Like, he should have been cut last night, possibly.
that's not really how it works. Once the
I
series
know,
is set,
I
it's
know,
set.
I know.
And once we're down 5, I mean, I hope we're not down 5-0. So let's say if we're up 5-0, we need to throw someone to the Wolves and get some low-impact innings. So let's hope it's us being up big and not down big. But then that's where we'd see Cantillo again to just sort of waste some time in a 6-run game or something. But
And I know I've said this already. Like, our entire bullpen's ready to go because we didn't really pitch anyone Game 1.
Okay, that's
so bullpen should be ready to roll.
right,
which is huge.
Silver linings. Those are my main 2 silver linings. The first one being how Manzardo and Brennan have nothing to do with this poor offensive postseason we've had so far, and we've got them in key spots to give us some life. The other silver lining being the game went south on us yesterday early enough to preserve our 4 best relievers because we were just kind of like screwing around and biding our time by the time there was the 3rd inning and we were already down multiple runs. Not giving up per se, but, just being realistic about how that first game was unfolding. So those were some main notes I had. Like I said, very encouraging how the generic oversimplified game plan on us is to hammer us with changeups, and that shouldn't work with how poorly Cole's changeup has fared in 2024. So, and then let's hope this Yankees bullpen's trending downward. They hadn't given up a run all postseason. That's obviously unsustainable. We got to them a little bit last night with the Rocchio home run. I mean, we didn't get a crazy rally or nothing, but at least a little stain, so they're not all cocky like 20 shutout bullpen innings anymore. So let's hope that keeps trending the wrong way for them. And
my other note was, again, I think I already said it once, is we have to get Jose and Josh Naylor's bats got to get going because they've been ice cold. We're not going to win this series if them 2 are cold.
Right.
It's just not going to happen, so we got to get these guys
Even
going.
if they get on base, just some walks.
Yeah.
turn the lineup around. Because,
Exactly.
dude, the Yankees, they're going to be pretty stubborn, man. They want 6 or 7 innings out of Cole. Like, even if we get some rallies and work some counts, they're going to leave Cole in there, on like 95, 96 pitches when, like, he's way more likely to be vulnerable than when he's cruising along. So, yeah, we've got to, because I feel like the Yankees pretty much have a script, like, if he doesn't get bombed, he's going 6 or 7 innings. So we need to make that stubbornness work for us and, make him labor and drive up his pitch count and, get to him whenever he loses that step, whether it be the 75th pitch, 85th pitch, because...
And Kyle just made a good point, too. Noel's been horrible. He's been swinging all over the fucking place. I mean, he had some powerful hits out to the, like, center field, outfield, but he's been striking out, whiffing at crazy pitches, man. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, he hasn't been great at the bat this postseason.
Big Christmas, we need some presents out of you, Jack.
Yeah, and hopefully
presents.
All along, I said on 2 Talking Tribe with Tito episodes ago when the playoffs were first starting that, like, Will Brennan starts and then Noel's the scary pinch hitter. And with a righty on the hill, that's how it's going. Brennan is starting and Noel's available to pinch hit. So hopefully that's the hat he was meant to wear and he fares better, Noel, as a pinch hitter with some power than he does as, a guy just in the lineup. So.
All right, let's give a score prediction for tonight's game and what's going to be the difference in tonight's game. I'll start if you want me to.
Sure.
I said after watching last night's game, our pitching, again, I'm going to say it again, our pitching is going to be better. Spivey's pitching. He's on the mound. He's starting tonight's game. And bullpen's ready to roll. So we have our full pitching ready to go. I think the pitching is going to win tonight's game. It better win tonight's game. And I'm going 3-2 Tribe tonight.
All right. Yeah, you certainly do not expect or predict to win a 9-8 or 10-7 game against Garrett Cole. So I'm gonna go 3-1 Guardians tonight. I was deciding what hat to wear. I went with the Alomar. Let's play on our strengths because he's one of our base coaches, and we are one of the best difference-making base running teams in the American League. Whereas, like, the Yankees, not only are they, like, below mediocre, they don't even, like, strive to make that a part of their game. So let's play on our strengths. Let's do what we could do. Let's hurt them on the bases. I'm hoping to control their running game, keep it non-existent, get us a key extra base or steal or two, first or third type thing on the base pass, and hopefully one semi-big inning is all we need. 3-1 Tribe I got, thanks to some base running havoc.
Mr. Dilbert, score prediction.
I'm saying 5-4 Guardians.
5-4 Guardians.
5-4.
Wow.
I think Yankees they'll get one or two in the beginning. BB will calm down a little bit. And then it's going to take us a couple of innings. We're going to have to go through the lineup once or twice. But then I think by the time we face Cole the third time, and they'll have to go to the bullpen, take him out at like 75, 80 pitches, and then we'll be able to put a couple more on, and our bullpen will finish it off to keep it 5-4.
And you know what's funny is like I said earlier, their lineup is unbelievable. Like what's their payroll? $600,000 or $1 million? It's like insane.
It's somewhere in the threes because the Yankees, Dodgers, and Mets are all in the threes, and we're in the lowerish ones.
So I mentioned this on yesterday's show,
have the exact
on the Abraham
figures in front of
Trigan
me,
show. The 4 teams left in their the ALCS and NLCS. There's 3 teams that are the highest paid teams in the MLB. Guardians aren't one of them. Dodgers, Mets, Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even close. So, I mean, I think you honestly see how unfair the salary cap is because it's coming out this year. Like, the top 3 most paid teams are the Final Four.
We
Final Four.
We definitely got to have the most. I mean, Detroit had a lot of rookies, but with these 4 teams, we definitely have the most rookies and the youngest MLB average.
Because it was shocking that Detroit. Well, not shocking, but it was just somewhat improbable. Because yes, we're a pretty historically young team, but Detroit is literally half rookies.
Oh yeah,
so that was very noteworthy. Like Detroit was younger than us. Like the reason that's noteworthy is because it doesn't get much younger than us, other than Detroit.
No,
who's
exactly.
Literally like half rookie.
Well, that's where we got to go out and just have fun like we were during the season. We got to have that fun, like just everybody looking at each other, giving each other high fives, and just the dugout being live. You got to have that.
I'm with you because it feels like we were a little tense at times, like this past series.
It's playoff baseball. It's a whole different animal.
And it's all still right in front of us, man. Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Cleveland. Like if this series can be tied with 3 games in a row in Cleveland, pretty much all weekend games, because trust me, most Clevelanders are going to consider a Thursday playoff game a weekend.
Right.
So, yeah, man, then we've stolen the home field, and it's ours to lose if we win tonight. So we're either in a big hole or we're pretty much in the driver's seat based on tonight, man.
Gotta win tonight. This is a big one. Coming home for 2.
It is
huge.
a big one.
Huge.
Well, see, that's where the Yankees have that short ass field. That's where I want to see Ramirez and Naylor use that short field just like they do. You know what I mean? Get a Jose bomb that barely gets over the wall, but hey, it gets right over the wall just like Judge's.
Yeah.
Judge doesn't always smack every home run of his gone to 500 plus, 400 plus feet.
What's borderline warning track bullshit at other parks clears the fences there.
That's what I'm saying.
So
let's get a couple home
And
runs.
I wonder actually, because I mean, here in Cleveland, Ohio, we got destroyed with weather this morning and all day. It's been off and on. It was fucking sleet and snowing when I drove through Cleveland for work this morning. So I'm like, I wonder how the weather is there. And if you could get on the weather for that game tonight, I wonder what it is, what the temperature is. But we all picked Tribe tonight, which is exciting. So go Tribe. But let's switch over to the pigskin, shall we? Yes?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Onward.
All right, let's talk about OSU versus Oregon this past weekend, and then we picked it as our college game of the week on Honest Abe Sports Report on Tuesday.
Right.
The Ducks won with the final score of 32-31, and I want to go on record. I am a Michigan fan, and I picked the Buckeyes to win this game. And it was honestly a great game to watch. I was hooked on watching them, and I don't watch the Buckeyes very often because it makes me vomit and I get diarrhea after watching them.
So the Yankees, there's no rain. It's going to be in the lower 50s, basically around 50 degrees. There's small
rain. What about wind? Any wind?
Small chance of a shower.
Any wind? Because you could see it in the game 1 that there was quite a bit of wind.
I mean, 9 to 12 miles an hour, so nothing super crazy.
By baseball standards, that isn't much, Cause, it doesn't take much to blow a football around, but, in baseball, you need usually more than 10 miles an hour to do something. with any of that.
But yeah, I picked Ohio State to beat Oregon, which they did not. It was a fiasco ending, penalty that timeouts got wasted. Ryan Day didn't know what was going on. I felt like. What are your guys' thoughts on the OSU Oregon game?
I mean, I don't know who the one guy from Alabama is. I thought he was number 2, but I know number 10, the corner. He got beat a couple times with big plays. We were the better team. We just gave up a lot of bigger plays than they did, and that's what kept them in the game and turnovers. Big plays and turnovers. The two key things in football that you do not want to do is what happened.
Big plays, turnovers, and make your kicks.
Absolutely.
And Oregon failed to do so, and they had to go for 2 twice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had a bad snap, missed a 2-point conversion because of it. And then the next one, or that first one, I'm sorry, they dropped the snap and they threw it in the end zone. It almost cost them 2 points.
No, I know.
And then they had to go for 2 again. They missed that, so they left 4 points out on the board, and then they missed a field goal. So they essentially left 7 points off the board, which is kind of wild to me.
And Ohio State.
And to beat Ohio State with leaving 7 points out of the board, you usually lose that game.
I mean, I know they were playing too high safety, but there was a couple times I'm like, just throw the ball deeper than the little screens. Make them be scared of the deep threat. I mean, you have 2 of the top receivers. Throw it down there. Give them a play. There might be a pass interference. You never know. Those pass interference, well, I know in the NFL it's right where the penalty is, but even a 15-yard penalty pass interference call, that still gives you a chunk of yardage on a field. Say if you're at your own 40, you get to their 45, you're good to go.
And the biggest thing in that game, to end that game, I think that Ryan Day didn't know that clock. So, that last play of the game,
yeah,
there was 17 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
They had an offensive pass interference penalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy caught it, though. It was offensive. He pushed off and then caught it. The clock's going to run. Since there was a penalty, they respot the ball because the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Since it was caught, right as that whistle blows and the ball's spotted, the clock's running.
Yeah. Now,
And
okay.
I don't think Ryan Day knew
I
that
know,
clock. I
and
don't think
that's
anybody knew.
unfortunate, 'cause
So
I didn't know that's how it goes,
Yes.
but I'm not the fucking coach. Yeah, you wish the coach knew that. I admit that I was ignorant to that specific fact, but yes, it's a shame our coach seemingly didn't know that.
The only reason that clock ran because he caught the ball and was tackled in bounds. So the clock always runs, no matter what. If you're tackled in bounds, the clock's going to run. But the clock will run when the ball's spotted. Well, looking back on this, Ryan Day should have known that, called the timeout right there. There were 17 seconds left, right? And then ran one more play. Even if you get tackled in bounds, like the last play was, you know how he ran the ball and slid?
Yeah.
You still would have had time to spike it or possibly get out of bounds. The play call would have been different with a timeout.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have ran it up the middle because the clock still would have ran out. So I think it's a coaching error. I really do. You can't blame that on the quarterback for running because, like, live time and you're running the ball and guys are tackling you, like, trying to kill you. It's so hard to.
Oh, that was different.
Aaron, you can't even show up on time normally, and
no, I know.
you see what I'm saying? Like, and you're expecting him to make a split-second decision right there live to dive with 3 seconds left.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. By the time he would have dove anyway, we would have only gone like 2 or 3 yards, and we could have kicked the field goal. But like by the time where he went down, that would have been a good field goal attempt. But there was no time left because he wanted to get rid of that ball.
It would have been
He wanted to get rid of it, but like he just thought, well, shit, I got running room. But at that point, when he said, oh shit, I got running room, there's 3 seconds left. What are you gonna do?
And I do want to mention this: Ryan Day is now 1-7 versus top 5 opponents.
Yeah, that's huge.
And I have to mention that because I'm a Michigan fan, but that's Ohio State fans are like not happy with this.
Well, that's huge. Yeah, exactly.
And you know, Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Ryan Day being unranked opponents, 42 and or this and that. It's against the top 10 teams or top 5 teams. That's a little more important than you beat Toledo. You beat Michigan State, which is trash this year. You beat these teams. No, it's against the big teams because you're going to face the big teams in the playoffs. Especially now there's a 12-team format. You're going to face the best more than ever now, even though there's not even the top 4.
You watch. Michigan's going to win their next, 4 games, and it's going to be such an intense game, and Michigan's going to somehow figure it out, just like they do. Well, even though they have Illinois this week, and it's a scary game. Well, Illinois has been playing well.
The Big Ten doesn't even have the conferences anymore, so technically, I mean, we face a lot of teams that are still undefeated in the Big Ten.
Michigan still has to play Oregon, let's not forget, in the Big House, so...
Yeah, and Ohio State still has to play Indiana,
who's
Penn
playing
State.
great, Penn State, and Michigan.
And
which
Michigan.
Is good. That's going to be a good game. It's Michigan, Ohio State. I don't care what people say.
Like
It's going to be
even
battle.
like last year, you were over when we watched the game. Like Michigan was the better team last year, and it came down to the final possession for Ohio State. So I'm excited. It's exciting. Well, we got a lot to get through, so let's go to our college football games of the week. There are two huge games, and we're going to be quick through this because, But, our college football games of the week, so we have to talk about two of them. Let's start with Texas versus Georgia. Texas is undefeated at 6-0. Georgia is coming in at 5-1. Who do you guys have winning this one?
Who's home in that one?
I believe it's Texas at Georgia. I did not write that in here, and I don't know why. I think
I
it's
didn't
at
have that
Georgia.
specified.
I think it's at Georgia.
Even doesn't matter. I still believe Texas will win.
You got Texas winning?
Yeah, I mean, they're just playing too fluently.
See, I'm opposite. I'm opposite because I think Georgia and Alabama are still really good teams, and they're coming for vengeance and cutting heads off.
Well, Georgia does they have to get this victory to stay in the 12 team, so that is pretty key for them. But I think Texas has just been rolling too hot, and they're just on a hot streak.
You know, after watching the Texas-Michigan game, yes, they scored a lot of points. They didn't play the best against Michigan. Michigan's defense is good. Texas' offense is good. So I don't think Texas has ran into a buzzsaw yet, and I think this is going to be it, in my opinion. So I actually have Georgia upsetting Texas 31-27.
Okay, I have Texas 28-21. Impressed me in the Red River Shootout. I know Oklahoma's not having a vintage top 5 year, but still, that's usually a pretty fierce rivalry game, and they won that pretty easily. So yeah, I got Texas winning by a touchdown, 28-21 in that one.
Aaron?
Texas 42. We'll go with Georgia. Georgia will get the 31. 42-31.
Dang, scored 42 points on Georgia.
They're going to have to.
All right, let's go into 5-1 Alabama travels to 5-1 Tennessee. Alabama is number 7 in the country. Tennessee is number 11. I have Alabama winning this one 37-24 as well. I just think you don't bet against Georgia and Alabama. I'm sorry to say it.
No, Alabama's going to get their shit together. I mean, more than they already have. So I'd say Alabama 27, Tennessee 24.
Okay. Tito?
Okay, I got nice fun shootout. Bama 38, Tennessee 34. And I just want to say that I love that this rivalry's back because I feel like when Peyton Manning and T. Martin were in college, the Tide were kind of floundering.
I was 5.
Well, right. No, but I'm just saying with how things have gone the past 25 years or so, and then by the time Bama rose to prominence, it wasn't Tennessee's glory days. So, these states border each other. They're SEC rivals in better times. So I'm glad that, both of these teams are in an upcycle again. And I'm also glad that anyone that placed a large bet on not hearing T. Martin mentioned on this show is going to pay up because you just never know who's going to get called back from the past.
Did you by chance see, are you guys country music fans by chance?
I'm more of a rocker, as Joe Dirt would say.
So Morgan Wallen is doing this thing where he walks into the stadium.
Yeah, he comes out with celebrities.
But he's filmed as he's walking in an entrance to a WWE ring. Or
and he's got celebrities.
So he has celebrities with him. Did you see the Peyton Manning one? Peyton Manning, it was in Tennessee. Peyton Manning came out in full volunteer uniform, shoulder pads.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was epic. You gotta go back and rewatch
That's
that.
great.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. All right, let's get into NFL trades. How about this? Let's head over to the National Football League where there were 2 big trades that took place today. Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams will reunite with quarterback Aaron Rodgers in New York. The Jets traded for Adams this morning and will give up a conditional 3rd-round pick, and that's per Adam Schefter. So my question is to you guys. The Jets are 2-4 right now. Does this trade turn around their season?
I don't think so. They're already 2-4, and then the dreaded, they're a fat 2 games behind the Bills after the Bills established their tiebreaker or their dominance in the tiebreaker scene yesterday. They're 2 games back plus, not good in the head-to-head. And also just maybe for like an edge rusher or like, I don't know, a badass free safety or an offensive tackle, but just logistically, Garrett Wilson's already a legitimate number 1 wideout. I mean, dude, Devontae Adams is awesome, but when you're 2-4 and you already have a Garrett Wilson, how much does Adams move the needle? That's where I'm skeptical. It's like you're 2-4, and your addition is not even necessarily something that was a weakness or a need.
Yeah, but Rodgers is that guy, and Adams, they have that relationship, like that backyard football relationship, where like if George, since I was George's receiver, no, I'm just kidding, but I'm just saying like Adams is going to know where Rodgers wants him. So like there's going to be a lot of easy plays, but now teams are going to have to focus on Adams, which will Wilson as being a wide receiver 1 is the wide receiver 2 now. But in reality, since he is a wide receiver 1, he should get a lot more single coverage now in general too.
Yeah, I think,
and he's got Alan Lazard, who also played. So he's got 2 receivers now who he played with in Green Bay.
Anytime you get your guy back, like they were so good in Green Bay, like so good. Like, dude, it was like scary good. And then when he went to the Raiders and left, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't chase money. Stay with Rodgers and tear things up. And now he's back with Rodgers. I don't know if it saves their season. I don't know if I will go that far and say that. I definitely think Aaron Rodgers will look a lot better because they have the chemistry like they did in Green Bay.
I don't know how many games they played, but I mean in that division though, Miami. I don't know if they played Miami yet. That's 2 wins because Miami they lost to, and then the Patriots are terrible. So if they haven't really played any of those teams yet, that's almost a 4 guaranteed wins. So that's why I think their season changes. Do I think they'll win the division? No. Will they sneak in as a playoff contender? Absolutely.
And you bring up a good point there. Yeah, it's not division or bust because Aaron Rodgers has literally won a Super Bowl as like a wild card winning 3 road playoff games.
He was the sixth seed.
So, yeah, there's some teams where it can be like, they really need an easier path. And yes, to their credit, they have a lot of work to do. But, yes, Rodgers isn't one of those dudes that needs an easy path. You do just need to get him there. So I'll give him that. Even as like a beleaguered, underestimated 6 or 7 seed, he's shown that he can, win some road games and go on a run. So,
all right, let's get into the other big trade today. Us Cleveland Browns fans, and it's a struggle so far. We're 1-5. But the Cleveland Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper has been dealt to the Buffalo Bills. The Browns will receive a 2025 third-round pick, a 2026 seventh-round pick. The Bills will get Amari Cooper, of course. And a 2025 sixth-round pick, and that's actually from Detroit that we got from Detroit. So what do you guys think about this trade? I think something needed to happen with the Browns. There need to be some kind of mashup.
As all the Browns fans out there, which I've seen, thank you, Amari, for your time, for your presence. Thank you for dealing with this Watson bullshit. Thank you for all that you've done. Yes, he has led the league with the most drops this year, but I mean, it's just a mentality thing when you're on a team that is just struggling. It gets to you. It really gets to you when you were with Flacco riding high, having the time of your life going into the
receiving game, 100-yard
receiving game. You know those wide receivers like being over 100 yards per game. It makes them happy. It does. It really does.
And with Flacco last year and our passing game, having that good run. And I just wanted to say, yes, from an appreciation standpoint, we're going to pick on Elijah Moore. He was a historically awful number 2 guy. So the fact that we had a good 5 or 6 weeks passing the ball downfield, I mean, sure, Njoku, Flacco, other factors, but, as far as the wide receiver room goes, Cooper did that basically by himself last year. I mean, if you just want to truly sit back and think of just what a non-factor, egregious number 2 Elijah Moore was in 2023. So thanks for carrying our sideline passing attack single-handedly for an effective stretch last year because that's impressive.
And to piggyback on what Aaron said, I don't think Amari Cooper – I think he was so done with Deshaun Watson that he's just like, please get me the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He was done. He was over it.
Yeah, some
just
players
think it was
subtly
done.
check out, and then some players like Cooper, just alligator arms, and you can just see it wearing on their sleeve that,
A little more-
they've checked out.
A little more Browns talk.
And
for
knock
ya.
on wood, too. I mean, Cooper, when he's been here, has really not had many injuries. He had a pretty healthy career here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not have too many crazy, wild injuries. I know he was out at some point for a couple weeks during one of these past seasons, but he was healthy. I mean, he's been in the league a while. Let's not forget, he was with the Raiders and Dallas, and then came here. He's been around for a fat minute.
And I'll just say this really quick, and you don't have to respond to this, but this morning Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said he's not changing quarterbacks because Deshaun Watson gives the team the best chance to win, and that's in quotes. And he also said
Did you hear that?
he also said
That's Haslam breathing down his neck.
well, wait, did you see what else he said?
I don't.
He also said upper management is not making the decision of him
Did
to start
anyone
Deshaun
ask him
Watson.
that, or did he
Yes.
just blurt it out
No,
defensively?
No. Someone asked him. So, so
but
he said that.
he's been hearing that. They get programmed to say certain things.
I agree.
mean,
Yeah. He's been known to sell some snake oil from time to time. You can't, believe everything that comes out of his mouth.
Last two things that we got to get through. And the last on the Browns, though, this weekend, Nick Chubb is set to make his return
That'll
against
save us.
Cincinnati at home.
Yeah, why bother?
How do you guys feel about this? Is it worth it? Is it is this one of those
No,
things
I
that it
think
might
he should just get
save us?
massages and eat
Don't-
fruit baskets until opening day next year. Fuck it, man.
he can.
You know?
If he wants to, I know he wants to play. Get out there. Don't run him to the ground. Do
No,
not
dude, he's gonna
run him to the
He's
ground.
gonna have 10 carries this first game.
That's fine.
That's it.
It's great that I don't want to see anymore. If I do see more, I'll go down on that field and kick Stefanski in the nuts myself.
Stepanski. I know Kyle's listening. Stepanski, we call him. But no, I think cheer loud for Chubb and boo Watson. It's going to happen.
Dude,
and you're going to make the announcements. It's going to be like Nick Chubb and then Deshaun Watson, so everyone's cheering for Chubb, and then you won't get the loud boo for Watson.
I was telling my group chat, I'm like, they don't have the balls to announce the starting offense. They will still announce the starting defense and give Chubb his own thing.
No. Chubb will go first, and then Watson will be after him, so they can't boo him. It'll be everybody will be
And
so
he'll
loud.
get those coasting
Yeah, the
cheers
coasting
from the
boos,
late
yeah,
Chubb.
yeah.
Half of that stadium might be Cincinnati, so we might hear a lot of
It
cheers.
actually reminds me,
cheers
I was
Sunday.
at the game where LeBron came back to Cleveland for the first time, and they were so smart. They announced Ilgauskas and then LeBron James. So everyone's cheering Z as LeBron James was, and they were like, LeBron James. And then, so he didn't get the full boo that he deserved,
Yeah.
but they were smart. All right, let's head into our NFL Game of the Week, shall we? Cue music. The red-hot 4-1 Detroit Lions will head to Minnesota to take on the undefeated Vikings. The Lions are now without star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. He broke his tibia and
Oh, that was
fibia
miserable.
and had surgery over this weekend. And I know Aaron's skin was crawling because he doesn't like injuries like
God.
that. On the other side, Sam Darnold is coming off his worst game of the season, which is also concerning to other players and other teams. Who do you have in this one and why?
All right. Give me the Vikings to stay undefeated and make a pretty nice statement. 21-3, Minnesota.
Wait, who are they playing again?
The Lions.
Lions and Vikings. Today, Junior.
2 touchdowns from Justin Jefferson in that win.
Guards are on in
I think
20 minutes.
I think Vikings will pull off an upset. Detroit's riding high. And hold on. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, right.
You cowboy-loving America.
Yeah,
team.
how's that? Hey, TikTok trollers, how's that Parsons Defensive Player of the Year campaign going after he had his moderately successful Week 1 and has been inconsistent, overrated drivel since then?
All right, I'm going to go with the Lions here. I love head coach Dan Campbell, and I believe he has those guys running through brick walls in Detroit. I'm going with the Lions, 41-30. Don't look at this. This is from last week.
I know, yeah.
All right, last and final thing I would like to talk about is Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because us Browns fans, we're kind of disgusted on how well he's playing, even though we're rooting for Baker, and I think all Browns fans now are.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield now leads the NFL in touchdown passes with 15. Their defense is actually a lot better than when Tom Brady was there. So my question to you guys is Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers legit Super Bowl contenders?
No. I believe in Captain Kirk. I still think that the Falcons will win that division. And with the NFC North all being 4-2 and better, it's not dramatic to say that every other division in the NFC might need to win their division to get to the playoffs. So, not going out of my way to hate on the Bucs. I just think it's going to be hard for them to catch the Falcons, and there's not necessarily a spot waiting for them if they don't. So I say no. And also next week, just in the short term of just how the schedule breaks, they have a tough-ass Monday night football game against the red-hot Ravens, who are 4-2 on the strength of 4 straight wins. And I don't remember who exactly the Falcons play, but they already have the tiebreaker from beating Tampa head-to-head, and the Falcons played the Panthers last week, and I forget who exactly they play, but they have another, pretty anemic, easy opponent while Baker has to do the Monday night game against the Ravens just to keep pace. So I see the Falcons winning that division, and I don't see anyone in a wild card scenario in the NFC outside of the North in the best position. So I say no.
Aaron, Super Bowl contenders, Bucs and the Baker Mayfields?
I think divisional again. Unless they have to go play Detroit or have to travel somewhere.
Didn't they beat Detroit already once this season?
Yeah, that's once.
Hey, just saying. And Baker Mayfield, 3 TD passes.
I know. If they could stay healthy, he's connecting with Godwin. He's already connecting with Mike Evans. He's been doing that for years. But him and Godwin now are just getting
Here's
on
my
a
thing.
roll.
They're starting to run the football very well, too.
Well,
and they have the receivers downfield. They have a lightning defense. I'm going to say, yes, they are Super Bowl contenders because NFC just isn't that good.
It's not.
So, all right, gentlemen, we have hit the end of the show. Any final last skid marks? The Tribe's first pitch is in less than 17 minutes, I believe that says. Final skid marks to end the show.
All right. Give me 2 stolen bases overall from the Guardians and one of them coming from Will Brennan in a key spot. Like I said, or the Alomar hat, running game, use our strengths. It's part of our game and not part of the Yankees. So win the base paths battle, and that should translate to winning the game.
Get it?
Dilbert, final last word, skid marks.
Get on. If we can get on the board first, a solo shot, just get on the board first, put pressure on Cole to keep the Yankees in the game, and have fun out there. Have fun. I want to see that dugout get happy and go crazy. Let's go Guards, baby.
Absolutely. My final last skid marks is I'm going to high-five Skipper back
I
here.
want to see
There's
Clause
a slider
A.
Sliders for the
slider.
Tribe,
I'm going to slide. Yeah, that's how bad I am.
I want to see Clause A, baby.
My final last skid marks is steal them bases and always live and die with the deep ball. Well, there you have it. As always, I'm George Gressman alongside Mr. Dilbert himself, Aaron Adams, Tito Round Tripper Baseball Whisperer. Please share the show. Tell a friend. Follow us across all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Don't forget, Honest Abe could tell no lie. Goodbye.
Steer right!
Peanuts. Get your peanuts.
Baseball here. Hot dog, get your hot dog.